Hello world, it's Deborah here. So I wanted to just do this standalone video about my alternate day fasting and how I personally define that. And what I was thinking was, because there's so much information out there and so much contradicting information, so just going to share how I came to really define what alternate day fasting is for me, because I'm going to continue to do videos and updates about my journey and my progress and the things that I've determined I want to accomplish through this lifestyle. So, like I said, there's everything from one extreme to the other floating around out in, cyberspace about this. So I decided to sit down and define for myself what alternate day fasting is, including what constitutes alternate day and what constitutes fasting and why I'm doing that. And I'll use an analogy in a little bit to kind of give a comparison. So that, and the reason I feel like I want to do that is because I'm defining this for me, because you can find truths out there on anything and contradicting truths. So because we're in this day and age, I felt like I really wanted to get clear on my truth around this, and then align myself or be part of a community or build a community of like-minded people and groups that align with how I define those things. So alternate day fasting for me, I'll just talk about the alternate day. So it's one day fasting, the other day eating. And if you look at that, would constitute 2 days. So each day has 24 hours. So 2 days has 48 hours. So, and that's like, to me, an alternate day. One day this, one day that. So for me, within a 48-hour period, the first 24 is fasting, and the second day can be eating. But because of, generally I sleep during the night, and so my fast in an alternate day fasting pattern includes between 36 hours and 40 hours of fasting, and I'll define fasting in a minute. And then usually it's about 8 hours of an eating window. Then after that window, I begin my fast. So this repeats. One day this fast, which goes into the next day, and then I have a very defined eating window. And that eating window is whatever you decide. But for me, that's what alternate day fasting is. One day fast, one day eat, fast, eat. I've just decided to keep that, what I consider an alternate day, fairly consistent because I'm new and I'm trying to establish this pattern. This may very potentially change in the future. I don't know, but that's what I consider alternate day fast. And that's the general consensus. But I found that things aren't like that, which is fine. That's what led me to do this, to define what this is for me and why. So that's alternate day. The fasting part, again, there's so much information. What is fasting and what is included in fasting? So the truth that I've aligned myself with And I've based this on tons of science and studies, and I will preface this by saying I am not a nutritionist, a doctor, a scientist, anything. This is my journey, and this is completely how I'm building the foundation of this for myself, what resonates for me. And it doesn't resonate with other people, and what other people are doing doesn't resonate with me. And that's totally okay. I felt, because of all this information, I wanted to define it for myself, which I've done. And so I'm just sharing that. This is just what I consider these things. So fasting for me, based on what I've decided to align myself with, is water, black unflavored coffee, and black, or just plain unflavored tea. I don't drink tea, so that narrows it down to water and black coffee. And I would like to, in the future, work towards no coffee. Just my fast will consist of just water. I'm just not there yet. And it's pretty much studies that I've looked at. Water doesn't break, or black coffee won't break your fast. And so I'm okay with that. I do not feel that consuming black coffee during my fast is affecting the fast itself, nor the benefits that the reason why I'm doing this fasting. So, there's lots of reasons why I'm doing this, but in terms of just fasting, it's because I believe I've aligned myself with the science that says after so many hours, certain things start to happen to your body while you're fasted. So for me, that's only water, only coffee. And the why do I want to fast like that is I want to experience fat loss and healing to my body. So it's pretty common that between 12 and 24 hours, your body goes into fat burning mode. And then from 24 hours to 36 hours, or probably more into like the 30 to 36, your hormone ghrelin, and this varies by body from body, the hormone ghrelin starts to decrease, which is the appetite ghrelin. I don't know all the science, just the studies that I've read. And I decided that I wanted to reap the benefits of reducing that hormone in my body. And so I want to have that benefit. And then after 36 hours probably between 36 and 38 hours, your body goes into autophagy, which that's totally a benefit I want. It's cleaning and healing the body. So as often as I can, and I generally fast between 38 and 40 hours, but if I feel like I'm not hungry at the 40-hour mark, I will go until, that hunger starts to set in, because I know intuitively, and I believe that my body is healing in that stage, fasting on water and coffee. And so that's why I fast that way. And so that's the foundation I've established, because what happened was I'm only still new on this. I'm on day 17, but I feel like I've really built a really solid foundation. And part of me learning about this was just feasting on all the information that's out there. And I literally found so much information that's so different from other information that I decided I was going to adopt this lifestyle too. So because I saw, videos or people's experience with what they would call a 7-day alternate fasting week, day in the life of videos. So I was like, oh yeah, what are other people doing? And listen, what other people are doing is totally fine. And I'm not judging anybody or anything. I'm just saying, here's what I'm aligning myself with, and here's what I call it. And then I look at something else and it's different, and that's fine. Totally fine. I'm just saying that, and I think the whole point of this is really, what I encourage is go through that process for yourself. Define what it is you're going to do and why. And that will take you out of all this craziness of you're not really alternate day fasting and you're not really fasting and da-da-da-da-da. Because it doesn't matter. It matters what you have defined for yourself. But, and I guess the audience I'm speaking to would be those who align themselves with, or want to align themselves with, this version of alternate day fasting. And so I'm just sharing what I have defined that as, and the lifestyle that I choose to live, what I call alternate day fasting. Because going back to the video, or the different videos that I've come across where people are like, oh, I just did a 36-hour fast, but all I ate was a handful of nuts, or, you know, a little bit of this, or just under this many calories, or just that. And like, I don't know, my research that I've done and my logical mind says that you can't be fasting and eating simultaneously. Like, so, but I've seen like tons of information out there where people are like, no, you can fast and only eat, you can have 50 calories, or you can have 500 calories and everything in between. And, you know, you can eat this and not that, but you're still considered fasting. And it was confusing to me, very confusing, because like, I'm a bit of a black and white person, but I also, you know, to me, it doesn't seem logical, especially based on the science that says that you cannot achieve these later stages of fasting benefits, like lowered ghrelin hormone levels, and especially autophagy. So, you know, and people have different reasons for fasting as well. So if somebody's just doing this for whatever reason, that's why I'm saying it's totally cool. I just found myself, because I can get triggered as well. And that's my problem, not the other person's problem who's doing it so differently. Again, that's why I needed to get solid with my own concept of what this is. Because also I would see people do, you know, I alternate day fasted for 7 days or 40 days or whatever. And then share that they did alternate fasting for 2 days, and then did intermittent fasting for 3 days or 2 days. Like, you know, it was like mixed in. And I was like, oh my God, what does that mean? Alternate day fasting, but it's not alternate day fasting. And I'm not laughing at anybody who believes in that. Just my logical mind says alternate day fasting is eat, fast. And intermittent fasting is in a 24-hour period. You have an eating window and a fasting window. So they can't both be, well, I guess they can, but for me, they're not, right? So anyways, I thought of this analogy around, and you know, this may be out there for some people or get triggered. And if this triggers you, all you have to do is click off, and that's fine. Like, because this is me, this is my journey, this is how I think, this is how I've built this, right? So, peace. Yeah, because I thought of the ideology around monogamy, because it involves the concept of cheating. And, you know, if you've ever been single and dating, especially in this day and age, monogamy is a concept, and it's a broad term, because what I found is what I consider monogamy, and if you don't align with monogamy, just let this one go. Everything is just concepts, okay? Because there's no shame in any of it. I'm just saying, how do you define it, and then align yourself with that? And it saves us so much like disappointment and heartbreak and confusion and stuff. So same idea with alternate day fasting. Define what it is and why. So if you look at monogamy, it's, you know, you define what monogamy is to you and why you're doing it. And if you ask 5 other people, you'll get 5 completely different answers about what monogamy is. Excuse me. And so, you know, some people consider monogamy, you're still monogamous if you just kiss somebody, or you're still monogamous if you know, have sex without an emotional connection, or you're monogamous if you just do these certain sexual things and not those certain sexual things, and everything in between. And that's fine. It's up to us as individuals, based on our own value system and belief system, what that means. But so if you are single and you meet someone who says, hey, I'm monogamous, and you're like, yeah, so am I, chances are that definition is really different. And if it's not, if the thing is, if you find somebody who aligns with your definition of monogamy and you want a monogamous relationship, you're going to be on the right path. But if your definition of monogamy is different than someone else, you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with intermittent fasting, because, you know, some people say, yeah, I'm fasted, I just had a little bit of butter, or I had a splash of coffee. And science for me, and I'm basing this on the science that I align with, says that as soon as you consume food, your insulin is triggered, and all these benefits that you get from fasting is stopped once insulin is triggered. And it said, like, because I kind of thought maybe there was a gray area where flavored sparkling water was okay, but apparently, from what people who I've aligned with, like Jen Stevens and some other, I just don't know the names offhand, but I've read and searched out so much of this. That's how I determined what is going to work for me. Because if you put like a flavor in your mouth, your body's going to it will trigger the insulin because it thinks that food is coming. So I don't do that, and other people do, and believe they're fasting and get benefits from the fasting based on why they're doing it. That's what I'm just sharing, because I'm going to be sharing my whole journey with this. And so when I say, oh, I fasted for such and such a time, that's what I mean. And rather than have to say this every single time, because somebody might catch something I'm doing, I plan to have like amazing results, you know, so because I believe that I'm on the right path, and I respect everybody else on their path. So I don't know. I hope that I conveyed this in a respectful way for myself, and honor myself as well as honor other people who are doing that, because anybody who's on a health journey to heal their body or just lose weight or whatever your why is, that's a warrior's path. And I celebrate everybody doing whatever it is that we all need to do to achieve our goals and be supportive of each other, regardless of whether we're doing it differently. I just really want to be clear and upfront and transparent and honest about how I'm doing this and why. So I hope this resonated, and if you, I would be open to comments or dialogue around that, other than just like if you're just not there, or you want to, you know, whatever, be the fasting police. I'm not interested in that, but I'm definitely interested in supporting other people on this journey. Yeah, so if you like it, you know, I'm just learning to say like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, guys, yeah, that's what I have to share for today.